Have you ever thought about learning a new language? Perhaps visiting another country like France and eating a croissant with some coffee at Paris. But then you realize, why would you? Since you'd only be using that time and you'd have to travel, which is really expensive. But traveling is not the only reason to learn a new language. In fact, even as a mechanical engineering student, I'm still studying Japanese, and a lot of the skills that I gained from learning language itself has helped me out with classes like calculus and physics. And even though it doesn't seem like there's much overlap there, let me explain how exactly these are related. In order to do so, I need to introduce to you a topic called metacognition, which is a huge area in psychology that deals with thinking about thought. Now, I know it sounds super meta, which it is, but it's really important to developing effective learning strategies for every individual. And the great thing about learning a language is that it actually does so to a very high degree. With any kind of learning, you're introducing new ideas to your mind, and you want to introduce the right things. Similar to diet, you want to make sure you're getting the right foods for what you're meant to eat, for your body, and for the right goals. So, with that comes a couple different options. You have a superfood like avocados, which I found out as a fruit recently, really cool. You can slice it up and have avocado slices on toast, or you could also have as guacamole, which I personally love. You could also have a potato, which is super versatile and have it in many different ways. You can cut it up, have some French fries, have some chips. You can fry it up, boil it, whatever you choose. There's plenty of different options. Just like that, there's plenty of different learning strategies that you can apply using metacognition techniques in order to best apply these new ideas into your own head and use them in the future as well. The thing with learning a language is that you're practicing this constantly. You're always finding new ways to apply new information, and everything's completely foreign to you unless you've experienced it before. But these connections become stronger as you find meaningful connections to them with things you've seen before, and there's some amazing benefits like memory, improvements to memory, perception, and even goes as far as to delay or reduce the effects of cognitive degeneration. Another big part of it is motivation or interest, as John Easvik puts it in his article about metacognition and interest in language learning. It makes sense since if you're not interested in something, it's not really going to help you learn the subject better. And if you are interested in something, well, it's going to help you learn that much faster. Now, learning a language is a really big task, which will undoubtedly take a really long time. And that means that a lot of students have to develop unique strategies in order to keep themselves motivated throughout the process. One way that you can do that is really just to establish goals. And something we talked about a lot in the Language 220 class is the idea of what you consider fluency. And everybody has their own unique views on this. Some people may want to be able to talk in a casual setting with friends. Others may want to interact in a more professional setting in school or at work, and others just want to watch anime, which I fall into that category. But the idea is that everybody has their own goals and their own purposes for what they want to learn. Being able to constantly be in that mindset really helps you with understanding your own motivation, your own inspirations to life, which helps you out with pretty much every other area of learning as well. Something very unique to multilinguals is the idea that their languages don't exist individually or separately, they more so exist all at once. In other words, it's not like you can flip a switch and bam, ahora que estás hablando español, es más como... It's more so they are all working together at the same time to solve a problem or figure out a response, and your brain is actively suppressing the other ones that are not in use. This requires more mental effort, and even switching between languages requires even more effort on top of that. So what does this all mean exactly? Basically, in gamer terms, having multiple languages in your head works kind of like a passive ability. The average multilingual speaker will exert more mental energy and effort at all times compared to a monolingual speaker. There was a recent study that actually took a couple children, such as Beirut over here, and they were all exposed to second languages at various stages in their life. Some of them were also monolinguals, so they didn't have a second language. But they basically just chucked them into an MRI machine. And the results showed that the children who were experienced much earlier in life, pretty much from birth, had the highest mental activity than any other group that they had studied. So this just goes to show that language learning is really effective at improving mental capacity, mental abilities that help with metacognitive strategies, help you apply these in pretty much every other area of your life. And this doesn't just apply to children. There's a lot of studies that also show how adults are affected by learning a second language later in life. Last thing before I end of the video is about changing it up. So you don't have to take everything I say for a fact. I encourage you to look for the materials for yourself and learn what works best for you. But one very important key aspect is that you try different strategies. You try to apply different methods of learning and also how to keep yourself motivated, which I believe this will help you out with that actually. So try to change it up. Instead of doing memorization all the time, try making some mnemonics, or if you understand the subject pretty well, you can try to explain it to someone as if you were teaching it to them. Bonus points if you actually do in a public space. That'll really motivate you a little more. That concludes the video, and now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go study some Japanese.